Hey, guys. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, I'm here to explore a place a lot of you have been asking for, the infamous abandoned house on Solitary Street. I've heard quite a bit about this place, and it seems like there's a pretty creepy story behind it. They say a tragedy happened here years ago, but no one really knows what it was. People in the neighborhood are scared to even walk by, but you know how it is, right? If it's gonna get some views and a good horror story, I'm all in. I laugh and shake the camera, showing the deserted street. The street lights flicker now and then, and the trees around the house make the whole scene even creepier. Seriously, this is the kind of place anyone would avoid on a Friday night. But I'm not just anyone, right? So, here's the deal, I'm here at night to make this whole thing more exciting. You guys always say in the comments that I'm way too brave, so tonight we're gonna see if this house really is what it takes to scare me. I've got my flashlight, my camera, and I'm gonna film everything for you guys. If there's a ghost, poltergeist, or anything weird, it'll all be here, uncut. I walk up to the rusty gate and push it carefully. The creak it makes is so loud it gives me chills, but I play it cool. Can't look nervous right at the start. The house looms ahead, massive, covered in vines, with shattered windows. Looks like no one's touched this place in decades. It's almost like time stopped here. What do you guys think? Just looks like another rundown old house, right? But man, the air here. I don't know if it's just in my head, but it feels heavy. Like, it feels colder here, you know what I mean? Anyway, maybe it's just my anticipation for something creepy. The wind blows through the trees, making dry leaves swirl on the ground, creating a low, constant sound. I swear for a second, it sounds like the wind is whispering something, but I shake it off and keep moving. Not gonna let paranoia get to me right from the start. Honestly, guys, this house has always had that haunted reputation, but to me, it's probably just one of those stories people tell to scare kids. Let's see what we find inside. If we find anything cool, great. If not, at least we'll get a good laugh out of it. I give another forced laugh and point the camera at the front door. It's sagging, one of the hinges looks like it broke decades ago. The windows, broken and dirty, barely reflect the light from my flashlight, which gives it a strange feeling, almost like something's moving inside. But that's just my mind playing tricks on me. I'm smarter than that. Well, it's now or never. I'm going in. If anyone has anything to say, say it now, because once I step through this door, there's no turning back, alright? With one last look at the camera, I wink at my followers and push the door. The sound of creaking wood fills the silence as I step inside. Alright, guys, I just stepped inside the house. Take a look at this. I move the camera slowly, lighting up the entrance hall with my flashlight. The first thing I notice is the smell. There's that strong scent of rotting wood, mixed with dust and mold. In the corner of the room, an old mirror leans against the wall, cracked in several places. On a dusty coffee table, there are still broken vases and old books scattered around, like someone left in a hurry. Damn, looks like the owners just left everything as it was. Check out these old furniture pieces. This stuff's gotta be over 50 years old, easily. I show the wooden chairs, all covered in a thick layer of dust. The faded curtains are falling apart, crumbling from age. A large painting hangs on the wall, almost invisible from how worn it is, showing what seems to be a family, but the faces are distorted by time. There's something unsettling about it, but I don't pay too much attention. Imagine living here. This house must have been beautiful once. Now it's just a shadow of what it used to be. I walk down the narrow hallway, lighting up the cracked and broken floor. The place is a real maze of rooms and half-open doors. Everything seems frozen in time, and I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched, but I ignore it. I try to focus on the video. The camera picks up a low creak from somewhere in the house. I stop for a second, turning my head toward the sound, and let out a quick, almost nervous laugh. Looks like the house is moving on its own, huh? Just the wind, guys, or the way of the years. Pretty normal for a place this old and run down. I take a deep breath and keep going. The next room looks like it used to be a living room. There's an old, torn-up armchair and a fireplace full of soot. The flashlight casts long shadows on the walls as I get closer to a bookshelf filled with moldy books. Think there's some hidden treasure in here? I joke as I run my fingers over a dusty book. Just as I'm about to grab one, a sound echoes through the house, like a door slamming shut. I freeze immediately. The camera shakes a little as I turn toward the sound. My heart races, but I try to keep my cool. I can't let this get to me. Okay, you guys heard that, right? I think... I don't know, maybe it was just the wind. These old houses always make noises. I say it more to myself than to my viewers, trying to calm down. I start walking again, but now my ears are on high alert for any sound. Every step I take seems to echo on the rotting wood floor, and the silence around me is almost unbearable. As I move forward, the shadows on the walls seem to stretch, like they're alive. I know it's just a trick of the light, but still, the feeling that something is moving at the edges of my vision is impossible to shake. There's a strange tension in the air, like something's about to happen. The camera catches my hesitant footsteps, and I start to notice I'm breathing faster. Then I hear it. Whispers. Low, almost imperceptible, but clear enough to freeze my blood. It's my name. Someone's whispering my name. Dude, what the hell is that? I murmur, quietly, trying to keep my composure. I look back, the camera following my movement, but the hallway behind me is empty. The silence is complete, except for the sound of my own breathing, which is getting heavier. I shake my head, trying to push the fear away. It's probably just my mind playing tricks. Whenever you're in a place like this, your brain starts imagining things. I start walking again, trying not to focus on the whispers. But as soon as I turn the next corner, I stop again, this time for a completely different reason. In the dusty floor right in front of me, I see something that definitely wasn't there before, small footprints. Footprints of someone, or something, that walked here recently. They look like they were made by bare feet, and they lead toward the next room. I freeze for a second, the flashlight shaking in my hand. Okay, this doesn't make sense. I try to laugh, but the sound comes out forced. I take a step forward, the camera still recording, when, out of nowhere, a door to my left slams shut with a bang, so loud it almost makes me drop the equipment. Holy shit. I yell, my heart pounding, but I can't lose control now. I take a deep breath and, still shaking a little, point the camera at the door. It's closed, locked, and it doesn't look like anyone touched it. I try to think fast. It's fine, guys, just a door. Probably the wind. Or the house creaking again, right? I try to laugh, but now my voice sounds thin and forced. Still, I can feel the house closing in on me. Like it's noticed me. And I start to wonder if this night is going to be longer than I thought. Guys, you're not gonna believe what I just found here. I'm in one of the upstairs bedrooms. The door was slightly open, and when I pushed it, it made that classic horror movie sound, a long, high-pitched creak that gave me goosebumps. The room is small, stuffy, and the smell of mold is even stronger here. My flashlight reveals what looks like children's furniture, an old, broken single bed, an open wardrobe with decayed children's clothes, and on the floor, a dirty and torn cardboard box. Check this out. It looks like this box was hidden here, in the corner. I don't think anyone's touched it in decades. I bring the camera closer and crouch down, showing the contents of the box. Inside, there's a collection of strange, personal items, all covered in dust. First, I find some family photos, but they're all torn, especially where the faces should be. Most of the faces are scratched out with force, angry lines marking the paper almost violently. Some of the photos show people smiling, but there's always something off: scratched eyes, faces deformed by the damage. Damn, look at these photos. Who does this? Looks like someone was really pissed off. I rummage through the box and find a stuffed toy. It's a bear, but one of its glass eyes is broken, and stuffing is coming out from a cut on its side. Next to the bear, I see a small headless doll, with its arms twisted in a weird way. My fingers touch something paper-like at the bottom of the box, and I pull out a pile of yellowed letters, aged by time. Letters. Think we can read any of this? I bring the camera closer and start to carefully open one. The words are smudged, but I can make out enough. The sentences are short, desperate, like the person writing them was on the edge of a breakdown. I can't take it anymore. This has to stop. They're always watching. I won't let this happen again. The writing becomes more erratic, and on the last page, there's only one word, repeated over and over: curse. Man, this is getting weirder and weirder. Looks like someone here totally lost it. As I'm talking, something in the corner of the room catches my attention. It's a low shelf, half hidden behind a faded curtain. I walk over and carefully pull the curtain aside, revealing a dusty VCR with a few VHS tapes next to it. My hands tremble a little as I pick up one of the tapes. This is gold. Imagine what could be on these tapes. Could be some kind of recording from the people who lived here, or, I don't know, something creepy. I try to hide the tension in my voice. I decide to take the risk. I hook up the VCR to a small, abandoned TV in the room. The screen flickers, static, and the sharp sound of the machine turning on echoes in the silence. I push the tape into the VCR and press play. For a moment, the screen stays black. Silence. The camera shakes a bit in my hand as I wait. Then, the image appears, blurry and grainy. The quality is awful, but I can make out what looks like the living room of the same house. The room is full of shadows, and the image is shaky, like someone's recording in a hurry. Slowly, the camera focuses on a group of people in the middle of the room, all wearing what looks like dark robes. They're standing in a circle, whispering things I can't quite make out. Their voices are low, almost imperceptible, like they're chanting something. This is so wrong. What the hell is this? I murmur, trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. The camera on the tape moves closer to the circle, and I see strange symbols drawn on the floor around the people. The sound is distorted, but the whispers grow louder, more urgent. The camera shakes again, and for a moment, one of the faces turns directly toward the lens. I instinctively step back. Shit, they're looking at the camera. My voice barely comes out, my throat dry. The face on the screen is distorted, but their eyes seem locked on me. I feel a chill run down my spine as I realize it's not just a random look. It's like the person in the video knows I'm watching. The silence in the house around me becomes suffocating. The image shakes again, and then, without warning, the screen goes black. Complete silence. My breathing is the only sound in the room. What the hell was that? I look around, the flashlight illuminating the empty room. Something is wrong. Very wrong. Okay, guys, this is getting really weird. I'm gonna keep going, but I don't know, this house is starting to get to me. My voice comes out shaky as I step out of the room. I still feel the weight of that disturbing tape, and the silence of the house now feels even more oppressive. Every step I take echoes like thunder through the empty halls. The flashlight wobbles in my hand, casting shadows on the walls, and that's when I notice. The shadows. They're different. The shapes moving at the edges of the flashlight's beam seem larger, more defined. My heart races as I realize that, for a split second, one of the shadows has a human silhouette. It stretches along the wall, as if something is standing right behind me, but when I quickly turn, there's nothing. Just the dark, empty hallway. It's gotta be the light. Just the light, right? I try to convince myself, but my voice sounds fragile. I keep walking, faster now. The air feels denser, heavier, like the house is pressing in on me from all sides. I try to stay calm, but every part of me is screaming to leave. Each step makes me feel like I'm getting further from the exit. And that's when it happens. Behind me, a door slams with a bang so loud I almost drop the camera. I yell and spin around, pointing the flashlight back. The door that was open is now locked. The doorknob turns on its own, as if someone is on the other side trying to get in. What the hell is going on? I try to open it, but it won't budge. Locked. My breathing picks up, and I decide to move forward, turning down the next hallway. But as I go, the doors around me start slamming shut one by one, loud cracks, almost in sync. They're closing in on me. No. This isn't happening. The house feels like it's shifting around me. The hallways I've already been through now seem different, longer, narrower. The feeling of being trapped is overwhelming. I run toward a door that's still open, and just as I'm about to go through, it slams shut right in front of me. My mind is spinning. I'm starting to lose control. Panic takes over as I try to find an escape, but nothing makes sense. I should be near the stairs. I should almost be there. But everything feels like it's spinning, like the house is playing with me, moving me like a piece on a chessboard. And then, I hear it. Footsteps. Heavy ones. Getting closer. They're not mine. They're coming from behind. I slowly turn my head, every muscle in my body rigid with fear. But when I look, there's no one. Just the dark hallway, the shadows dancing on the walls. But the footsteps keep coming, louder and louder. They're here, right behind me. The flashlight shakes in my hand as the whispers start again, but this time they're closer. They whisper my name. Stop, please, stop, I mutter, barely able to breathe. But the whispers don't stop. They never stop. I can feel something behind me, so close I can feel the cold air on my neck. I turn, desperate, and nothing. Just emptiness. But something is there. I know it is. I need to get out of here. I need to get out now. I run. My legs barely obey me, but I run, trying to escape. The hallways seem to stretch on forever, like they're mocking me. The footsteps behind me are faster now, heavier, like someone, or something, is running too, but always just out of sight. The sound of creaking wood, slamming doors, the echo of my footsteps and footsteps that aren't mine. It all blends into a chaos that makes me want to scream. I turn a corner, gasping for air, and come face to face with another door. My last hope. I reach out, but before I can touch it, it slams shut with a force that shakes the whole house. I turn, trapped. No. There's no way out. The presence is behind me. I know it is. The whisper is clearer than ever, the horrible sound of something that seems human, but isn't. A cold breath touches the back of my neck, and for a second, I feel like if I turn around, I'll see something. Something that shouldn't exist. I close my eyes for a moment, trying to think of anything, but the fear is overwhelming. When I open them again, I see the impossible, footprints in the dust, right in front of me, appearing as if someone invisible is walking toward me. Tears start to form in my eyes. I'm not getting out of here, am I? And then, the final sound, a door creaking open, somewhere behind me. I keep running, never looking back. Shit. I need to get out of here. Now. My words come out in broken gasps, and the camera in my hand shakes violently as I sprint down the hallway, gasping for breath. Sweat streams down my face, my legs barely hold me up, but all that matters is getting out. I approach the front door, the one I had confidently passed when I first entered. My only escape. I run up to it, almost stumbling, and try to turn the doorknob. I push with all my strength, but it won't budge. Locked. I push harder, but it's as if the door itself is alive, mocking me. No. No. I pound on it with my fists, desperate, kicking it with force. The wood doesn't even give. It's like the house is holding me back, trapping me in its grasp. I try to pull myself together, heart racing and breath irregular. The windows. Maybe the windows. I run to the living room, the camera recording every frantic move. The windows are covered in dust, cracked, as if they're on the verge of shattering. I rush to one and try to force it open. Nothing. Not even a millimeter. I grab a rusty iron candlestick from a table nearby and hurl it at the glass. The metallic clang echoes through the room, but the window remains intact, as if the glass were made of something unbreakable. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. I mutter to myself, unable to believe the situation. It's as if the house is alive. There's no other explanation. I turn around, and the sound I feared most now intensifies. Footsteps. They echo behind me, closer. The presence that has been stalking me since I saw that tape is getting nearer. The flashlight begins to flicker, and the camera's audio fails, producing crackles and distorted noises. The shadows on the walls writhe violently, as if they're contorting, laughing at me. Shit. I try to stay calm, but my heart is exploding in my chest. The flashlight goes out completely, and the camera emits a high-pitched whine, as if it's frying from the inside. The images on the screen distort, the colors blending into unrecognizable shapes. For a moment, the lens captures a dark figure standing at the end of the hallway, motionless. It looks human, but something is wrong with its shape. Tall, elongated, with outstretched arms. Without thinking, I run. My legs barely obey me as I dash up the stairs, the camera swaying as it records what might be my last moments. I need a place to hide. I need to get out of here. I find a room at the end of the hallway and throw myself inside, locking the door behind me. My hands are shaking so much that I can barely turn the key. The silence of the room feels suffocating, but it's soon interrupted by a heavy, muffled sound. The entity is on the other side of the door. It starts banging. First slowly, then harder, each hit more violent. The pounding echoes through the room, each blow louder than the last. I feel the wood of the door vibrating, as if it's about to give way. I'm trapped. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. I repeat, my voice now a desperate whisper. I try to find something, anything that might help, but the room is practically empty. Except for one thing. In the corner, partially hidden behind a piece of furniture, I see a small, old box. A final VHS tape is inside it. My breath catches for a moment, but something compels me to take the tape. Maybe there's an answer here. Maybe it explains what's happening. With trembling hands, I place the tape in the room's VCR, just like the one downstairs. The small TV screen flickers, the grainy image slowly forming. The footage is similar to the first, but now it's different. It shows the same group of people, but this time, I can see more details. They're back in the living room, around the same circle on the floor. Their voices are muffled, distorted, but one word is repeated several times: trap. My eyes widen as I see what happens next. The ritual isn't just to summon something. It's to trap it. But it's not just the entity that gets trapped. It's anyone who tries to leave afterward. Anyone who has the misfortune of entering the house and witnessing it. The footage shows the camera slowly turning toward one person, someone alone, watching. Exactly like I am now. The final scene shows a face, looking directly at the lens, a macabre smile forming as the image distorts and goes black. The banging on the door grows even more violent. The wood is giving way. I understand now. I was lured here, like so many before me. A cycle that never ends. This can't be happening. It's all I can repeat, my mind unable to process what I know is coming. The camera begins to fail completely. The screen flickers, distorted. Then, with one final sound, everything shuts off. The video ends with one last frame, a black screen, no sound, except for heavy breathing. Mine. Or maybe, something else.